Well, the plot thickens when it comes to this new DC universe. I don't know. DC has just been a crazy place over there at Warner Brothers. But according to Phantom Wire, an article states Superman Legacy always existed as a separate project. James Gunn clarified Man of Steel 2 was never in the cards despite Black Adam Superman cameo. WB backhanded pissed off millions of DC fans. So, like I said, this company, this studio, has handled these characters and their direction for the last almost 10 years now. Catty wonkus, as they say. But let me continue to keep reading. In a recent tweet, filmmaker James Gunn confirmed that he was hired to write Superman Legacy over 6 months ago, contradicting the assumption that the upcoming film was a response to Henry Cavill's cameo in Black Adam, which for some reason I don't really believe that they was going to even go that route, but let's keep going. Gunn clarified that Legacy was a separate project that was already in development before he and Peter Safran were hired to lead the revamped DC studios. However, the confusion around Cavill's role as Superman and the lack of structure and direction at DC in the last 10 years, not recent years, I'm going all the way back to 2013, has left many fans disappointed, including moi. Actually, I'm not disappointed in this. I knew that something was fishy was going on. I jumped off the boat way before this was even announced. But anyways, enough about me. According to James Gunn, Superman Legacy was in development and greenlighted before Black Adam was released while Cavill was prepping for the film. Yeah, this does sound like a backhanded stuff. Gunn made it clear that Superman Legacy and the Commandos project were already in progress before he and Peter Safran were brought on board to lead the reimagined DC studios. He emphasized that these projects were now accelerated or fast-tracked, that Legacy was intended to be a standalone project. He later clarified that he was hired 6 months ago to write the Superman movie. This movie was expected to be developed concurrently with the Man of Steel 2 and the Elseworlds Black Superman project written by Ta-Nehisi Coates, which shouldn't be around anything, but anyways, we can keep moving on, and produced by J.J. Abrams. However, the Man of Steel sequel was ultimately scrapped and Cavill was moved from the role. Oh my goodness. Like I said, the plot continues to thicken when it comes around Superman and Henry Cavill. I don't know what the issue was. I know what the issue was. I ain't gonna say it right here. You can probably guess it. The revelation was as clear as speculation that Man of Steel 2 was canceled due to the development of Legacy. However, it was not addressed why Cavill was brought back to the role of Black Adam if Legacy was already in development and was meant to be a separate film project. And the fans, too, asked the same. And a fan goes crazy at James Gunn, saying 6 months ago, then why did they have Henry Cavill in a cameo in Black Adam if he was already working on a new Superman? Questions everyone wants to know. It's weird. Gunn's explanation that Cavill was not fired but was actually under contract for the role has only added to the confusion. He stated that he wants to cast the right actor for the role and for this story isn't Henry because they want to go younger. And this is what he says. I guess he said in the past. We didn't fire Henry. Henry was never casted. For me, it was about who do I want to cast as Superman? Who do the filmmakers we want to have cast? And for me, it isn't Henry because you guys probably want to go weird and try to reflect on what DC Comics is now, a steaming hot pot of garbage. Gunn has expressed his admiration for Cavill, calling him a great guy who was dicked around by previous bosses at Warner Bros. And DC Films. The Superman saga chaos at DC and and the confusion surrounding Henry Cavill's role as Superman. Oh man, what excuses they gonna have now? Let me read this. The confusion surrounding Superman Legacy and Henry Cavill's role as Superman is just the latest example of chaos at DC in recent years. Gunn has stated that there was basically no one minding the mint at DC and that the IP was given out to any creators who spy whoever's in charge. I don't know what that even means. Apparently, you guys did have a direction when you first hired Cavill back in 2012 and came out with a movie in 2013. Actually, I think Henry Cavill was hired as Superman in 2011. I remember. I know the movie didn't come out to 2013. That gives me an idea. 10-year anniversary of Man of Steel. But anyways, the history has been SIIT. I said SIIT. SHIT. There was basically no one minding the man, and they were giving out IP to any creators that smiled on whoever's in charge. There was never any real power given to people in charge. And so somebody could always go over there and do what? And somebody could always go over their head and do whatever they wanted. That's not what happened. Oh man. Yeah. There's more, but I don't feel like reading it. All I gotta say is hopefully, which I don't think is gonna happen because Hollywood is weird. Hopefully, Henry can at least be a James Bond, but they don't idolize the manly man, a real man. They idolize weak men. Ah, God. I'm just talking about James Bond. I'm not talking about Superman. Superman, on the other hand, I don't know what they plan on doing. They want to go younger. Henry Cavill will be 40 a couple of days after I turn 33. So 40 is not really all that old. You can get 10 years out of him. The man wanted to play the character. I don't feel like there was anybody handing out an IP. I think in the beginning they had an idea of what they wanted to do with this character. I think Zack Snyder had an idea, and it was just too much infighting from what it seems now. Too much infighting from too many people, too many cooks in the kitchen, too many pot stirring, and too much just going on at one time. And I have to agree with Gunn. Maybe he was hosed around Cavill. But as far as James Gunn is concerned, what he wants to do, I am not interested at all. I just can't get into it. I just can't. Here's the thing, because I know people are gonna try to use this as an excuse for Ant-Man and the Wasp and Quantumania. I wouldn't say failing, but not as good as everybody thought it was gonna be, which I already knew it wasn't gonna be good because no MCU movie has been good since Endgame. And that wasn't even all that good. But it's not superhero fatigue like they try to give out excuses. It's just the way the writing is and how the direction is. Perfect example of it is Doctor Strange 2. I didn't even feel like it was a Doctor Strange movie. I feel like he was a side character in his own movie. It was about everybody else, not him. It's just crazy how they write these movies now and expect people to actually watch them. Some of these movies are unwatchable if you really sit there and look at the plot and analyze the plot. I take pride, as I'm doing right now, because I'm almost done too. Thank God. But I take pride in having a good plot and writing a good plot. I don't want to have a terrible plot. Well, you have a terrible plot, at least make it enjoyable somewhat. But what I'm saying is, some of these movies, I'm using the MCU as an example, some of them just contradict themselves. And they're starting to contradict the past films now. But I just have no hope. And I feel like it's not going to be, as a DC fan, I don't feel like it's going to be anything from what I've seen in the past or read. I think it's going to be some weird mumbo jumbo. I, for one, when it comes to, because I know James Gunn already did a DC film in the Suicide Squad, maybe if it can be like that, maybe. But you never know with these things. Maybe as fans, we're getting hoes. And maybe we're going to get a big fat gotcha moment. Who knows? I'm not shooting too high when it comes to that. But yeah, lots of infighting, lots of goofiness, lots of craziness going on in DC. Yeah, it sucks Henry didn't get it. I don't understand. They said he's under contract. But I feel like it's too many lies going on here. Nobody's telling the truth. You never know with these companies.